I've noticed that when somebody comes in and they spend millions of dollars on Bitcoin, the price barely moves. And then an ancient whale comes in, wakes up, sells even a fraction of that, and it completely impacts the price. It sends it down quickly. So this brings up the question, is Bitcoin's price being suppressed? I want to break down two possible reasons how I think that the price may be getting suppressed, but I would love your take on it, so drop a comment if you have more to add. Bitcoin is a free market, so that means that you have your buyers and your sellers, and then the price adjusts accordingly as people are buying and selling the Bitcoin. But to me, I think that Bitcoin should really be at a higher price right now. And the only explanation I can think is that somehow it's being pushed down, it's being suppressed. With all the money going into Bitcoin, that the price would be a lot higher. I personally think it should at least be 200,000 right now. One explanation that I think could be the case could be paper Bitcoin. For example, like these ETFs that we have, I think that it's possible that they could be selling the ETF and it could actually not necessarily be backed by real Bitcoin on chain. If exchanges and institutions can create more paper Bitcoin than actually exists, that would inflate the supply. And that means that people think that they're buying Bitcoin, but really they're holding like an IOU. And then more supply without more demand keeps the price down. And this is actually exactly how the gold market was suppressed before. Futures, contracts, and then paper gold diluted the scarcity of gold. And then I think that it's possible that Bitcoin is facing the same issue. Another way that I think that Bitcoin's price could be getting suppressed is through OTC trading or over-the-counter deals. This is when you have billionaires, hedge funds, large institutions, governments wanting to buy a huge amount of Bitcoin, okay? And they don't usually go to an exchange like Coinbase or River. That would actually cause the price to then be pushed up really high. And I think that they want to get as much as they can, so they have an incentive to keep pushing it down. So they keep these private deals off of the markets or off of the exchanges. The market never actually sees that demand happening. And this results in a huge amount of Bitcoins changing hands without really that true reaction to the market. And the price doesn't move the way that you would expect it to. Well, they don't want to cause a pump in the price, because then that would mean that they would get less Bitcoin as they're trying to accumulate more. There's two things, right? There's the paper Bitcoin that inflates supply on exchanges, and then there's the over-the-counter trading that hides the real demand. And I think that if these two are combined, and I think this could be happening for a couple of reasons. One is obviously, like I said, people want to keep buying for as less of a price as they can. And the other part is possibly they could be wanting to protect the credibility of fiat. Of course, Bitcoin is not supposed to be able to be controlled, right? It's decentralized, but I think that there's people out there that know how to do it. You've got very wealthy people, you have Wall Street, and these kinds of people are used to doing that and being able to manipulate pricing. They understand how markets work and how the financial system works better than a lot of other regular people. Unfortunately, I think that it could still happen. And I could be completely wrong, but this is just me trying to make sense of why I see the price reacting the way it is. I don't think that it means that Bitcoin is weak at all. I think that it shows how important it is because people care about doing this to it, and that it actually shows that this could be a threat to the system. But I think that that's only going to work for so long. And in the end, real Bitcoin is scarce, and the blockchain doesn't lie to us. So when enough people demand the physical Bitcoin, I don't think that the paper Bitcoin is relevant anymore. So like the video, don't forget to subscribe for more Bitcoin content I post every week, and let me know in the comments, do you think that Bitcoin is being suppressed?